Matt Dredger. He runs the Borro Club. Yes, the Borro Club. No W on the end of Borro, mind you. Matt, good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Is it exactly as it sounds that you borrow things through a club?
Yeah, it's a website where people can share their stuff with other people in their community. So it's normally household items. It could be anything that you can find in a garage or a loft or a shed, that type of thing.
Yeah. So in other words, if you don't have the money to buy it, you can borrow it for a period of time and take it back.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, so it stops people having to go out and buy something at full price that they are only going to use maybe once or twice a year. What they can do is go onto our website, have a look around, and then borrow something for a fraction of the price from one of our members.
Now I know you're based in the West Midlands, aren't you?
Yeah.
But is this a sort of countrywide, all-embracing? Is it?
We're still quite young. We started the website went live on the 1st of January this year, and what we're trying to do is just grow it from the Midlands area first of all, but hopefully yes, to take it national at some stage. Yes.
And in a sentence, is it growing well?
It is, yeah. We're getting members signing up every day. We're getting items loaded onto the site almost every day as well. So we've got an eclectic mix of stuff on the site at the moment.
Did you have a light bulb moment? I mean, when you suddenly thought, hey, this is a good idea, no one else is doing it, maybe I should?
Yeah, I was in my garage at home last August 2014, and we were decluttering, getting ready for a car boot sale. So I was in the garage clearing a pile for the car boot sale, so I did that. And then I just kind of looked up and noticed all this stuff on my shelf that I didn't want to get rid of because I was going to use it again, but it was stuff that I wasn't using that often. So that could be a roof box or the jet washer. So that was where the idea came to me.
And you thought, there is business to be had here?
Yeah, well, I thought there wasn't a middle ground between, I suppose, eBay and throw it away, if you like. You know, nothing between where you want to get rid of something either through sending it through eBay or maybe recycling it. There was nothing for the stuff that you've got in your home that you don't use that often, where you could allow somebody else to make use of that when you're not using it.
I think we're all guilty of cluttering, aren't we, and keeping things, and you suddenly don't remember you ever bought it, think when was the last time I used it, but we don't want to throw it away, do we?
We don't, and as I when I had this idea, I kind of researched it a bit more, and believe it or not, the average garage in the UK has got £3,500 worth of stuff in it.
Wow.
And that's just the garage. So the amount of homes I've only got the Birmingham number, there's 410,000 homes in Birmingham. So we've got £1.4 billion worth of stuff, and that's just in our garage. So that's where the Borro Club idea started, but then we've started to have stuff put on the site that's either in the kitchen or the loft, the shed, and so on, really, and the wardrobe as well.
I mean, your background is in sales, so I mean, is the thing? I mean, do we impulse buy, or do we think, I need this, or are we just pressured into buying it and then realise, well, actually, I don't need this. Yeah. It's run out of time, so I can't take it back.
Yeah, I think we're used to consuming things nowadays because there's a fast pace of new products coming on the marketplace, and we always want the latest and greatest. But this is more about helping people to save money, and equally the people that put their stuff on the site can earn money from the stuff that they lend out to the people that borrow it from them as well.
So once you'd had the idea, what was the next thing you did?
Bit of research, so that garage number that I found out about, and really just I went to friends and family to say, I've got this idea, what do you think about it?
And what did they think?
My wife was quite amazed and impressed, really, and said, if you think it's good, go for it. Then I started to speak to a few friends. There was mixed results because I realised this is not something for everybody because basically you're allowing somebody else to use your stuff. But what we do make sure is that anybody that comes onto the site, we do make sure they're properly checked. But also, when you do post an item on the site, you can leave a security deposit number on there so that the borrower pays that and we hold on to that.
Yeah, because we're very territorial, aren't we? We don't, if you put a pen down in here and somebody else picks it up, we say, excuse me, that's my pen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all goes back, and this is not a new thing. I mean, there's this new buzzword out there called the sharing economy, which we form part of. But it's not necessarily a new thing, because I remember when my grandparents knew everybody on their street, even my mum and dad as well, and used to be able to go to a neighbour and say, have you got this, or can I borrow this? I think nowadays we're less connected to our neighbourhood, and this is a great way to hopefully bring people back together.
Because it's a very sort of different version of going around to borrow a cup of sugar, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. But what you don't know is really what's available in the homes within your street, because you've probably got something in your home which I might want to borrow at some stage, and vice versa. And why go out and spend hundreds of pounds on something that you're only going to use once in a while?
Obviously, you've got to make sure that there is some honesty in play here. I mean, other areas that you just don't touch. You say no, you can't expect to borrow that. We don't handle that.
Yeah, I mean, there are things that we don't like to have on the site. So, such as a chainsaw, really, where you would requiring a license for that type of thing. The site is more about the stuff that people would use potentially on a regular basis, or people would want to borrow on a regular basis rather, but you don't use it that often.
So once you've got the idea up and running, and as you say, it's very much based on a website, how do you get the word out there? Because I presume, people wouldn't put in a search engine, a Borro club, would they?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
how did you get past that first hurdle then?
Yeah, well, because it's quite a new idea, it's quite a challenge really. So social media helps, of course, but equally what we also do is attend events as well around the Midlands area, where it could be either a car boot sale, or it could be, we've been invited to a few environmental fairs as well, because obviously we're reusing stuff that we already own instead of purchasing some new items. So it's a slow process, but it's it's going really well, and as I say, we're getting people signing up, but just any channel possible really to spread the word.
You mentioned just before the break, as we were running out of time, that there'd been a pink gazebo on there.
Yeah, a pink gazebo. So that pink gazebo was from one of our partners, Age UK, in Solihull.
Right.
Because what we also do is partner up with, we've got some charities, we've got Acorns and Age UK, and also Northfield Eco Centre. And what they do is that they encourage their supporters to put their stuff and their volunteers and their staff on our site to then have that money donated to their cause. And this pink gazebo was actually Age UK's own pink gazebo that they use for events. And they thought, well, let's put that on there. So that got borrowed, I think it was last week, by a lady called Linda, who was hosting a baby shower for one of her friends. So obviously it fit the bill, it was obviously a girl. And it just helped her to produce deliver the baby shower and put on a good time for her friend, but also that money went straight to Age UK.
I was thinking pink gazebo sounded like a footballer's wedding. And then I thought maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't mean to, but the sort of thought. But I can see the process. So is it mainly sort of biggish items like that, and maybe electrical things that people are offering?
Yeah, we've got the big items. So I suppose you say the roof boxes and the jet washers, I suppose the costlier items. And we've also got these GoPro cameras on there as well. So we've got some really nice electronic products also. But then we go down to camping equipment. So it's a great way for people to try before they buy. If somebody's invited to a camping trip and they want to live comfortably there, they don't want to go out and buy the stuff, because if they come back and don't enjoy it, they've spent hundreds of pounds. So we've got camping lanterns on there where you can borrow those for 50p. We've got stoves on there for £1 a day, I think it is. So it's an all manner of things really where somebody might want to use those just to try something. Look, the GoPro's a great one because they're not cheap as an item, and it gives you an opportunity to borrow it in the real world, use it in the real world. Then if you enjoy the experience, you can go out and buy your own. If you don't, then of course you haven't wasted all that money.
So does the insurance liability lie with you, or with the person who's doing the hiring, or the person who's doing the borrowing?
It's but that's the reason why we've got the security deposit, because if the item does come back damaged, so the process is that when the owner puts the item on the site, they can choose the daily fee that they're willing to charge and the security deposit they're looking for as well. Then when the borrower comes along, they pay all of that money to us, and we hold on to that. And then when the process is finished, we contact the owner of the item and say, is everything okay? And if they say yes, then we refund the security deposit and obviously pay them the lend fee. So
if you want to borrow something, you pay whatever you found on the site.
Yeah.
Do they get the money? I mean, I'm just trying to work out how you're making your money out of this venture.
Yeah, so for the owner of the item, they don't get charged to put anything on the site at all. Whatever they put on the site for that they're looking for, they receive that money at the end of the whole transaction. Where we actually make our money is we charge a small percentage based on the rental fee, and we charge that to the borrower. So at checkout, the borrower will pay the lend fee, security deposit, and our fee as well.
I don't wish to be the harbinger of bad news or anything, but has it all worked out so far? I mean, has there been a moment when you thought, why didn't we think of that? Because that was a problem. We need to address this. That we perhaps hadn't thought it through as well.
Yeah, well, when we did launch the site, it was just a basic website really, and where all payments were made at the front door. And we realised from speaking to people, they weren't comfortable with that, so we've integrated that into the site where all the payments are online, and also various other things. So, for example, of course, trust is a big issue about this. Will I trust you with my item, and so on. So we've created a member rating where you can actually view the person that's either borrowing or lending your items to make sure that you're comfortable in doing so with them as well. What we're also building into the site as well is a review of the actual item itself. We haven't got that at this stage, but that's going to be coming over the coming weeks. so that you can actually see if the item is fit for purpose, really, and can do the job for the person.
So you've been going a few months.
Yeah.
We've got about 20 seconds to get an answer on this. You've been going a few months. Would you say thus far you feel it's been a success?
Yeah, I do, because it's a new concept. So to get some early adopters on board and get people using it and actually borrowing stuff, and of course our charity partners as well. Yeah, it has. Could always be better, of course, that part, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The Borro Club, then, it is a community benefit, isn't it, that everybody can get involved with.
Yeah.
What's the most bizarre request that anybody's made so far, do you know?
No, it's all been normal stuff, actually, but the most bizarre items we've probably got on there is a cat carry cage, so if you want to take your cat to the vets, that's one particular one. Of course, the pink gazebo as well. And
you can actually borrow a dog, you tell me?
There is a company, not on my website, but there is a
Right.
company called Borrow My Doggy, and they actually do allow people to share their dogs as well.